Good afternoon, YouTube. I'm going to attempt to do a Demaree split method, vertical split, whatever, on this colony. This is my depot swarm that I caught March the 20th, and today's April the 8th. And I came out, I did a video the other day. I came out and they had already drawn, I run 7 frame boxes. They had already drawn 21 frames from March the 20th till the 4th. It was Saturday, April 4th. So that's 15 days. And I'm anxious to see. So the top box they had is up here. I put foundation and the one frame that she had laid eggs in, I put it here, put their honey that they were storing up on top. I'm anxious to see if they started drawing out any of this. There's a huge clover flow right now, which I've got crimson planted behind me, behind the bees. I know they can't work it supposedly. They try their best, but I've got white clover everywhere out here on this property. But I'm finna break into it, and there wasn't a lot of activity this morning. There's more activity now, but when I was out here bush hogging this morning around the pond, there wasn't a lot of activity, and I was afraid maybe that they had swarmed, but they didn't look like they were gonna swarm the other day when I opened them up. But I only went in just so I saw her, and I quit. But I'm fixing to bust this thing open and see if they're gonna allow me to do a Demaree split. I don't know how to say it. And we'll just see what happens. Y'all stick with me. Let me go get ready. All right, y'all. I'm back. You probably noticed if you watched my video the other day that my hives are turned 90 degrees from normal. Normal way, people put the entrance on the narrow end. That's the way the industry standard is. And you know, and it's say on your hive stand and it's running this way, and you got to turn your back awkwardly. Me, I've got a really bad back, and the slightest little thing will make my back hurt for a while. So probably for the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, most everything that I run, other than I've still got some nukes, little 4-frame nukes that the entrances are on the narrow side, but most everything I run, the entrance is on the long side. And because a bee doesn't care where an entrance is. You look at a hole in a house, they don't care where that entrance is. They're gonna build their comb wherever they want to. And it's easier on me physically to be able to just pick the frame up evenly with my body instead of having to twist sideways and come up. So I don't know, y'all might notice it. I was just gonna bring it to attention that I run my bees generally 90 degrees from industry standard. And I think I touched in my other video, but my the way I use my bricks, if they're flat, and I generally run them with the frames, if they're flat, queen right, nothing's wrong. If it's standing up like that, standing on its side, there is a queen in here. Say maybe I made a split with a queen cell or something, or a virgin queen. Yeah, she's in here, but she's not laying. Or if it's like this, then I can drive by and I know the last time I inspected that colony, It was queenless. Straight up, it's queenless. This one's queen right. This is my depot swarm. You know, like I said, she was March the 20th was a big swarm. And now they're 3 boxes high, really, but I put a 4th on the other day. All right, let's get into here and see if they're gonna let me do this Demaree split. This top box is gonna have all of their honey plus 1 foundation that I put in there. And we're gonna see if they've worked on that foundation or not here in just a minute. I think I put it here. I did, and they haven't done anything with it yet. No. All right. So let's see. I know this is all going to be honey. So I can probably just go ahead and pull this and get down into, I need to get into the second box. Man, they are bringing some nectar in right now. Y'all, that's so pretty. Y'all see that? The sun might be on it good. And they're just drawing this out. They're doing a pretty good job drawing it out, but it's not quite ready yet. It might not be long before I can harvest this box. I imagine she's going to be in the second box. It's going to be my guess. She might have moved back down to the first, but what you got there? I don't know if that's charged or not. That's not. No, there's not an egg in there. They sure are thinking about it. I'm fixing to curb that. Yeah, this is all honey. Okay. So tough. Gotta keep my smoker lit. I'm gonna try to throw up a little video that I took just a second ago. It's gonna be up and down, but I've got a pair of geese that have decided to, I guess, call my pond home. They're over there on the edge of the pond watching me right now, but just a minute ago they were walking around back behind me in this clover when I drove up. Oh yeah, that box is heavy. This third frame is the one that she had eggs on the other day, and I put it here. I doubt they've done anything here. But I'm still gonna glance for her. Yeah, they're drawing. Man, swarms are impressive. I said that the other day like 40 times. They're drawing that pretty good. Oh, look at that. Let me see if I can clean them out the way a little bit. Yeah. And this side's the same. These, today is Wednesday. Saturday is when I put these in there. This whole box, except for this third frame, was just plastic foundation that I have waxed. Man, I need new frames. These frames are starting to rot. I'll get one more year out of them. Golly, y'all, this was straight plastic with some wax on it Saturday, and they've got that drawn out. She could lay in it if she had a mind to. Man, they're so efficient and so fast, and she's got this laid up. I just got to make sure she's not on here. They drew this out in 3 days. I don't know if you'll be able to see the eggs, but she drew this out, or they drew this out in 3 days, and she's got eggs in it already. I'm gonna try to take a picture with my phone, and I'll insert it if that video didn't come up good. Well, I gotta remember that. All right, this was honey, and they've done moved something. She's got this laid up too. So one of these is going to be a really good candidate for some emergency cells or some swarm cells in the top of this Demaree. There she is. She's right here. All right, I'm fixing to catch her and set her aside so I can move fast now. Get out of there, girl. All right, this can be her second box. because there's going to be brooding all in here, and she's got eggs and room to lay. Alright, so now I need to start building these. Yeah, I'm gonna put these over here by the truck. Let's see. And I'll start building the top box of the Demaree. Might could just use this whole box, y'all, because I know it's got brood and it's got food. Let me see what the brood situation is real quick. I might just use this whole box. All right, there's some capped, new capped, old capped. Old capped, old capped. That's fixing to emerge. Might take this one. It's fixing to emerge. Let me just see what I got before I make a decision. I don't know what's in the bottom box yet. New capped and old capped. And she's got some drone brood on the bottom. I'd like to have some eggs, just for the fact that I would like to be able to take a cell. All right, there's eggs here. And there's eggs here. So that's the third frame from the front. All pollen food. All right, this box, but I think I'm gonna take a frame of eggs. Eggs and larvae here. So second and third are where I should have my queen cells. And then, was it the second frame that was old cat brood on both sides? Yep. I'm gonna put that with her. But I'm probably gonna put it in the bottom, depending on what we got in the bottom. I don't know what we have in the bottom yet. come off the front. Alright, that's going to be hers with the eggs. This one's going in the top. Let's see what we got in the very bottom. Geese are still over there on the pond levee. Let me put her in the shade. Nectar. Brood. I want to leave her with some cat broccoli. She's got cat brood here and there. Gracious. What do I do? This colony is fixing to explode. I need to put all the eggs in one box. It's going to be easier for me to check. This is capped. This is capped. And that's capped. That's capped. All right, I'm gonna put this one. Let's see. Put that one there. That there. Draw this one out. put these eggs in the top box. These are eggs. Honey. Capped. That's her bottom box. I'm gonna rebuild it. We're just drawing this out. Got eggs there, here, draw that out. And here. All right. There is her bottom box. Now I'm fixing to let her go. I'm gonna video it with this phone and insert it. Where you at, girl? There you are. Come on. Get off over in there. Go on. All right. All right, she's in that bottom, and I'm gonna give them a box. It's gonna have foundation. Let's see. We can give them some incentive to come up. This one's gonna have some honey in it. I'll put it here. I'll let them finish drawing this one out. The rest of this will be waxed foundation. All right, now I run 7-frame boxes, so I got to use an 8-frame excluder, and I'll put it here Now, do I put their box of honey there or empty? This is pollen. So what do I've got eggs here, I believe. Yeah. All right, that should round out all of my frames in this. I think I'm going to give them their honey right here. All right. Then I'm going to go with a box of waxed foundation. And 7. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be the box with the eggs, so this one's going next. This one's got all the captive brood in it. Possibly some eggs. I'll have to go through it in 7 days. And this one's got all the eggs and larvae in it. I've got one more thing I'm going to show y'all that I do. Y'all bear with me. So I run these migratory tops that I make, and I've got them configured. The way it was like this. I've got an upper entrance dadoed into, I used a dado blade, and the way it was sitting, this was flush against the back of the box, so they couldn't use it. But I'm fixing to turn it around and make this flush against the back of the box, and they'll be able to come out this upper entrance. They'll be able to come in and out right here. Well, I'll stand by. All right. That was a success. I think I like this location. And right now this colony, this stand, these two colonies on this stand are just on a piece of backer board for tile. And what I think I'm gonna end up doing, this used to be an old fence row that's been cleaned out, and there's a few nice trees still left on it. But I think after honey harvest on this spot, when I break them back down, I'm probably gonna slide them forward and put them on a temporary stand up there. And I'm gonna do a dry pour because I don't have no way of getting electricity here or water, or I don't feel like mixing a bunch of cement. I'm gonna do a 4x6 slab right here, dry pour. And I can spray it down with my spray rig on my side-by-side, and I believe it'll be enough water. But I'm gonna do one here and probably one right down there, and then I'm gonna do one on the other side of these trees because I want 6 production colonies. And then I'll try to overwinter 3 or 4 queens. You know, I'm planning to make a split from some of the swarm cells, the emergency cells they make out of here, because this colony just, I mean, so strong. You know, like I say, they almost had 28 frames drawn out. They probably had 24 of the 28 frames drawn out since March the 20th. And this is April the 8th. So what's that, 19 days. This one's pretty close. This was the Bubba swarm. I caught it the day after this one, but this swarm wasn't near as big. They're probably about halfway drawn out. Maybe a third of the way drawn out in this top box. I put it on the same day. I'm just guessing. I could go in there and look, but I don't feel like popping them open right now. But anyway, that was a success. I'm anxious to see. You know, this is only the second one I've ever done. I've got one at the house that I'm going to try to move out here Friday night. But I'm anxious to see the honey production. You know, they say that's the beauty of this type of manipulation, is you keep your bees and you still make the colony, and the queen thinks that she's swarmed because she's got so much more room. So we'll see. I'm hoping to either pull a box, probably pull this box off in about a week and harvest it and put it back on, or put another box on when they get this drawn out. Anyway, look, I'm glad y'all stuck around with me. Maybe not quite as long of a video as the previous one, but it's interesting to manipulate them, and I'm anxious to see the results. So I'll make more videos on as this thing progresses. Maybe next week when I come see about the swarm cells, the emergency cells that they make up here. We'll see what they do, and I'll record that too. But I'm glad y'all hung around with me. If you like this kind of stuff, like I've said before, you know, hit a like, hit a subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, as I've heard a lot of people say. I don't know if it helps me or not. I'm not nowhere near to the point where I'm getting paid any by YouTube, and I don't know that. I mean, that's not the goal here. The goal is just to create content. You know, it might help somebody in the long run. But seriously though, if any of y'all have a bad back, think about turning your colonies 90 degrees from industry standard. Figure you out a bottom board. So when I build all of my boxes, right, and these are 1x8s, which is 3/4 by 7.5 or 7 1/4, whatever. My bottom boxes, I leave them full width. I don't cut them to 6 5/8, and I staple hardware cloth on the bottom. And they are dedicated bottom boxes. They have a hole in the box. They won't be used for anything but bottom boxes unless I use them for a swarm trap. And like I say, they're dedicated bottom boxes. They're taller. They got the screen on the bottom. And I consider everything else, you'll hear me talk from time to time, bottom boxes and stackers, whether they're still part of a brood box or not. Everything above a bottom box to me is a stacker. That just means I can take and stack it on top of another. And because they're the standard 6 5/8. You know, like I said, this was a standard, whatever the 1 by 8 comes 7 1/4, 7 1/2. I think it's 7 1/4. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Gotta get ready for church tonight. As always, thank you for watching. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.